First Presbyterian Church, Ida 23 and I 27 were wed by a Presbyterian and a Methodist minister.
Before nearly 1,000 guests. It was the first wedding in the new church, and it was the talk of the town.
Two together, and only two, one a husband and one a wife, ready to walk the wide world through, heart in hand, on the road of life.
After a honeymoon trip to the east, my dearest and I settled into our new home on North Market Street, which my father had given to us as a wedding present.
I joined our local Masonic lodge and advanced over the years to Knights Templar. I also became president of our local YMCA and stressed the spiritual side of the organization. Many nights I would be at the street meetings leading the singing. Lead Kindly Light and Nearer My God to Thee were two of my favorite hymns. My dear mother, whom everyone called Mother McKinley, and who also now lived in Canton, had instilled in me a love of God. I loved my mother deeply, and on Sunday mornings I would go with her to church. My belief embraces the divinity of Christ and the recognition of Christianity as the mightiest force in the world's civilization.
11 months after our wedding, I was delivered of a lovely daughter, whom we named Catherine, after my mother. She was born on Christmas Day.
This was certainly a message from God.
I had pictures taken of Katie, and even had a beautiful oil painting done of her. I was so proud of my little girl. 6 months later, I was again with child. This was wonderful, as both my dearest and I absolutely adored children.
These were the two happiest years of my life.
The Major mentioned his closeness with his mother. Well, I too had very strong family ties, which made it especially hard when my grandfather died. Then, just before my delivery date, my mother passed away. I was the eldest daughter, so my relationship with my mother was almost that of a younger to an older sister. Her death affected me deeply. Soon after, I gave birth to our second daughter.
Well, it was a difficult birth. We named the little girl Ida. She was tiny and frail, and within 5 months, our dear child was home in God's hands. Our baby's death put my wife into a fit of depression. She developed phlebitis, which made walking and standing difficult for her. And she started having these moments. Her sister, Pina, came and helped Ida with Katie.
Many afternoons, I would hold Katie in my lap and rock her, weeping over the loss of little Ida. For some reason, God was punishing me.
Katie became the central thing in our life. But with Ida's support, I did remain active in politics. I had been a strong member of the Republican Party, campaigning for my old commanding officer, Rutherford B. Hayes, when he ran for the governor of Ohio. Then we decided in 1876 that I would try for the United States Congress. But during that same year, Katie became sick with typhoid fever.
No, dear God, no, not Katie. Not Katie.
God's will was to take Catherine home.
Two together, and only two, fronting fortune and braving fears. Two together, and only two, above two little graves in tears.
Ida's health became worse. But we both understood how much the congressional race meant to me, so I began to vigorously campaign. I won election to Congress in 1876, and over the next 14 years, except for one 2-year term from 1883 to 85, I would serve in Congress until 1891.